Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL. We are into week number 8 and into our third broadcast for today's week number 8 on Watopia's Waistband for the TTT. And this is the America's East broadcast for the men's and the women's races in the A category. And Dave, this is one of the super hotly contested, I would say. We've got a lot of top talent that do come out of the APAC and the MEA, but also in the Americas, there's some pretty intense rivalries. I wouldn't say that there's quite as many teams as I would say the European, Middle Eastern, and Africa, but you also have some highlights then, though, I think, amongst these rivalries that become very pointed. They really get accentuated, though, because of that. They can really notice each other. If that makes sense, Dave, because of it.
100%. Don't tell anybody. This is my favorite division, without a doubt. I absolutely love it's spirited racing out here, and these are teams that are really starting to figure out how to team time trial as well as we move into week number 8 of 10 for our community racing. But this is a great group. I believe we'll have the women out on course first here. ATP Venom. Actually, we'll take a look in a moment, I'm sure, at the table, give you a feel for where things stand right now. I would like to talk about the course really quickly, Nathan. Watopia's Waistband. I don't know that I remember any team time trial course, and we're up to, I believe, the 84th edition with WTRL coming up here. That's consecutive weeks of team time trialing with WTRL, by the way. Absolute phenomenon, as we've talked about. But I don't know, Nathan, that we're going to find a course that is better for the team time trial purists out here. There's only 95 meters of climbing, just enough to keep you honest out there. We've got checks at 8, 16, and 22. And Nathan, if what we've seen already today holds true, we could see teams stacked up, say 5 teams within 10 seconds at that first check. Things have been really tight out there today.
On the purist front, as far as team time trials goes, got to really agree with that. There is a reality that there's just a couple little bumps to keep people honest, as you did say. I believe it's, 95 meters of total climbing, but it is all about speed out there. The flattest of all of the waistband being all of the outer rim of Watopia, but the flat sections of it. So if you were going to do the complete outer rim, you'd include kind of the Watopia climbs, more onto the mountain. You'd hit maybe the volcano a little bit, maybe head off to some of that dirt in the jungle loop or the Alp de Zwift. But this is all of the waistband by the flattest sections put together, and does do almost the full circumference, though. Watopia, we hit up Ocean Boulevard, Fuego Flats, and then the classic sections through the downtown Watopia past the piers. A little bit of that volcano as well. So going to be interesting today. As you did say, we are jumping in with the women first. We are also going to be covering the men. They are taking off pretty quickly after the women out here for the Americas. We've got some of the women out on course, 8 minutes to go to the start for the men's race. So we'll go back and forth a little bit for the Americas. A little bit different than we do for the stream for the APAC or the MEA, as it's a little bit more back-to-back, and we get all the races right up against each other. So we'll make sure to keep eyes on all the data as it comes on through. Let's take a look, though, at how things stand. We'll look at the men's and the women's right from the get-go. And in the women's standings, as you did say, ATP Racing Venom, there it is at the top at 132, Dave.
Yeah, Nathan, what I love is that this is all still in play. We did just wrap up Premier League last week, but here we've got 3 more chances to score points. Sarah's the Pros Cloud, it's going to need every race, as they've got 132 right now, sitting in second. And in third is Finesse Wahoo Chicks, 130 points. It's going to be close there. Anything could happen. Sisu, I Race Like a Girl Do, with 111 points, sitting in fourth. Cryogen Gallopin in fifth. Revo Whips in sixth. The BRT Dark Kittens in 7th, Waddy Inc. Washington. Nathan, do we think that's Washington? I'm going to find out.
No, I actually, that's a great.
We confirmed.
I just got a confirmation from Adam Harita saying that looking through this, Nathan, is Adam Harita. I helped manage the Waddy Inc. Zwift team. Thanks for the love in the race cast. We often laugh when you say Waddy Inc. Washington. The ladies, Waddy Inc. WA is for W for women and A for the A category. So I thought it was Washington as well. So they were having a good joke with us by letting us go for quite a while there with it looks like.
It's funny, my dad lives in Seattle, and he was happy to know that they had a local team. So, sorry, Dad. All right, ATP Racing Stingers in 9th and Misunderstood in 10th. But hey, that speaks to community. And Nathan, we are wide open. That feedback, man, let us have it. We love it. You guys have been absolutely great. So that's a look at where things stand for the women in the A's. Actually, the A's and the B's combined together in America's East. The next category up racing that we're going to look at here will be the C's. I'll throw it back to you, Nathan.
Yeah, we do have Z Tsunami, followed up by ATP Racing Hive. It's a 5-point difference. Definitely surmountable if ATP can put something on the board. Wadi Inc. WC2, that's going to be women's C2. We got that right. It's not going to be we should have picked up on that one probably with the WC over there.
I hear you.
BRT Flaming Kittens coming on through at a 112, battling by 1 point difference between Revo Doves, and then Margaritas are right behind them at 109. In 6th place, 7th is in Herd of Otters, and then Cryogen Abisk, CCNS Merry Cranksters, followed up by the No Drama Llamas. They are getting yelled at by Aaron, most likely, right now to get moving at 75 tied because they're trying to take over that 8th place here. We'll see if there's drama or not on that later today. Let's take a look quickly at the men's, then we'll jump right into the racing. It is Finesse Wahoo at the top, Dave.
Yes, super strong program. Finesse Wahoo with 137 points on top of the table. ATP Racing Hydrogen with 125 in second. Cryogen Alpe d'Huez 114 points. And you can see this is where it gets interesting, folks, as ODZ Sharknado at 113, the meme team at 112. So stacked up there, just 1 point separating 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Wadi Inc. A, 102 points there in 6th. FW Tea Party, 7th. Endurance Works, an 8th. Dirt Alert in 9th. And the Rouleurs, Polo Velo A. That's your top 10 right now as we head into the 8th race of 10, our 4th team time trial. Back to you for the B's, Nathan.
FW 3.9, 139 with a good lead. Not sure that's going to be surmountable without some major mishaps or some major comebacks. But BMTR B2 there at 121. Now, not to say, though, earlier we did see Team Experimental pull off something crazy. If you missed that in the European, Middle Eastern, and Africa, that was an awesome ride by Team Experimental earlier this afternoon. But big jumps like that not usually seen. Dirty Ducks there as you do see 117 in 3rd. 4th place Dirty Diesels 106. 5th place Lion's Heart, followed up by Gotham Grinders on the Rivet, Oost Train, and then it's gonna be Rulers Polo Velo in 8th, and Dirty Watts WTRL Bombers in 10th place. Right now in the B's, now in the C's. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, Nathan. Another version of ATP. This time it's Racing Nitrogen, as they are cold as ice at 138 points on top of the table. Dirty Grinders second with 133, 108 for the RR Nuclear Rhinos. In 3rd, Dirty Time 2 Grind in 4th, Zeus Underwear in 5th, Herd Mentality 6th, Endurance Nation C2C in 7th, the RR Javan Rhinos in 8th, Cryogen SA Calabra in 9th, and then Endurance Nation C2C1 in 10th. So that's the C's that we're looking at. And I think we got the D's. Over to you, Nathan.
ATP Racing Butane heating things up as they light up 1st place, it looks like. Dirty Drafters there at 120. 7 points back. Herd of Fighting Frasians at 117. 2 point difference for Team Type 1 Beta Cells, and only a 2 point difference back to Herd of Fighting. First, John, that's going to tell me that there's been a lot of position swapping between that 6th all the way to 3rd. Quite the battle, and I think that's wide open for the racing here coming in the last couple of weeks. BRT Dakota, followed up by Cryogen Mauna Loa, and then Cranky Joint Bike Club at 59 points in 9th place, and STL Newbies with 45. So that's the situation between the men and the women in the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL coming into week number 8. Back into some TT racing, though. The women are out on the course right now. Betty Squad is hammering away at 40 kilometers per hour. The men have 2 minutes to the start of their race. We're going to have checkpoints at 8:16 and 22 kilometers in. Let's go ahead and jump right into the racing and also take a quick little look at how things are looking for the course out here today. It's a really interesting course. We got some new graphics up here. Big thanks to WTRL by throwing these together here. And this is what the course profile looks like, Dave. Now, you mentioned earlier, a little deceptive is it's not super hilly. That does look hilly, but those are the bumps in the road that's all relative to the course itself as to how it shows how much of a bump there is.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, absolutely, Nathan. When we look at this and talk about what makes this a great team time trial course, it's the ability for these teams to really find their rhythm out there. I just heard through social media that Sarah's the Pros Closet had a technical at the start. Christina Grossman not off the line. Okay, we'll see what's happening there, Nathan. And that's one of the things about social media is you can get some interesting information. So that's a bummer. If that, I certainly think that will hold to be true here. So, yeah, that's one of the things that getting everything dialed in and lined up. Sometimes it's out of your control, right? If something happens with your local internet provider, it's such a bummer. It's so much work goes into being ready for these riders. Well, the Betty Squad's got everybody out there and rolling. Nathan, in my notes, one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, because you've been doing these team time trials with a high-level team, what would you, if you don't mind spilling the beans a little bit, if you were talking with your team, what would you look to say, let's try to average on the flats out here today? I was talking about that 50-kilometer-per-hour number. Would that hold true for you guys? Would you be even more aggressive on your pacing? Is that a little high?
If I want to win the time trial, so in any kind of situation when it comes to racing, my philosophy, both as a coach, as a racer, as well as as a DS in any kind of situation, and I think just when it comes down to purely understanding the psychology. Now, this is a psychological. This comes down to the psychology of racing and what you need to do. Settling for less will never get you to win. Okay, it will
Right.
never, and settling for just gets you by what I think I need to win is usually not going to get you the win, because there's always somebody working harder. There's always somebody shooting for more. So you have to shoot for the moon. You have to shoot for the stars and hit the moon, kind of a thing. And so,
Yes.
my opinion on that situation is 50K is what I know a win. So I would force my mind and my team to think about 52 or 51. And the same thing with training. What do I need? What do I need to do in order to have the right base, the amount of endurance and efficiency for a 2-hour all-out XC race? Well, the rule of thumb is usually having the kind of endurance that will have a solid decoupling or a solid efficiency. I could just, as a good word for that, decoupling word, for 5 hours straight. You double the time of the event, and then you make sure your base is good for that. And I would always shoot for the highest amount of average power I could put across those and be fully ready, well beyond what was going to be required of me. Because a lot of people would shoot for maybe, well, you need to get by with 3 hours or something. So, I mean, it's always shooting for more. So I would aim in my mind for a kilometer or 2 per hour more than what your winners or who you're trying to beat are doing. And then together you put that in your head as the target always average that you're shooting for, and always be looking to try and hit that. So I know that if I want to win our category, it's 50 kilometers per hour, 52. In the past, actually, that's a great question, and you've encouraged me now to shoot for 52 because I've been shooting for 50 there, Dave.
Well, you know what, Nathan? First off, I love that mindset, and your answer is insightful, to say the least, because if I was working with a group of athletes in the team time trial, I would literally take what you said and just try to bottle that and sell that to them, because that's exactly it. It's like, look, we need to go big. And I think we talked about that on this course, where you need to set an aggressive schedule. And if you can't meet the schedule, so be it. But I don't think anybody wants to finish a race like this at this level, leaving something out on the course. The whole goal, and that's the danger here, is if you go out big with lofty goals, you do risk blowing up. But in order to win at this level, there's an element of you have to risk losing. You know what I'm saying there? If you're afraid to lose, You're not going to win that much, even if you're incredibly talented. This is a sport that requires you to put yourself out there, and every now and then things don't go your way. That's one of the things I love about the racers that I've been able or lucky enough to associate with in my life is that they're people that, hey, sure, it's a calculated risk, right? You're not going to be out there just attacking with old school fury constantly. But when you do attack, you mean it. And when you do set a schedule in a team time trial, you put an aggressive one out there. And you always find, Nathan, I'm sure you've seen this in your racing career, that what a race does, what adrenaline does to you, it takes you to a place that you never thought you could go before. And people who don't race just would never understand that. And you, at no point in trying to explain it to them.
Looking here, coming on through from a guy who should know something about taking risks, not and knowing how to make things happen. CS Tricks Casey Shum, who helped DS this afternoon in one of the breakout rides. No pace. Go until you are scared lunch is leaving you, and I think that's a pretty good estimation of how you get after it without just don't think about it, make it hurt. And that it's a lot of what team time trialing is, that's for sure on Zwift. Revo Whip's coming through with 11:31, as you can see here. 11:36, it's a 5-second difference between Wadi Inc. Women's A and then BRT Dark Kittens there, 11:48, just a little ways back. Pure Sports there, 11:52. All sub-12s there. Misunderstood about 13 seconds back from Core Sports. ATP Racing Stingers, 1 second difference for the battle for 5th and 6th right now. CCI Race Like a Girl, only 3 seconds back, so still battling it out, it looks like, for a top 6 situation. CCNS Ladies and Cryogen Marie Blanc, but now Cryogen Galloping come on through with a 10-second gain over the Revo Whips. That's the current situation for those that are out on course and have completed 8 kilometers so far in this Women's America's East Division 1A.
Talk to me about the best-looking kit in game right now. Betty Squad, great job.
Let's go back there.
I'm going to go back
there. I was going to mention that, and then I forgot.
Oh, okay, yeah. I knew we could revisit that.
Call.
Yeah. This is the first time I believe I've laid eyes on this, and wow, your graphic designer gets a monster high five from me. Good work.
Yeah, and is that an official Betty Squad kit in game then?
Well,
is that what that is?
Have you seen it before? I don't know if you have or not, Nathan. You're definitely, I'll be honest, way more observant than I am on so much of this stuff. But for me, that's the first time I've noticed it.
Yeah, I believe that this is going to be a Betty Squad kit in game. I think if it's not just
maybe
recently
they just
put
got
in, but yeah. I've seen this before, I believe, or at least a similar design. I'm not sure if I've seen it in game though. It's definitely familiar with the name Betty Squad though to me. Very cool to see and well done. I'm liking the setup here with the purple matching black on the S-Works here as well. So very cool kit. And I have a feeling, this will really go well if we start getting some more Fortnite-esque avatar enhancements going on as well in game as you earn more levels. I'm loving the kit here. That's for sure. Ryan Carter coming on through. It looks like with Nathan, you should jump back to D class here in a minute to join some cryo RDT riders. We set out on. All right, we'll look at you, Ryan Carter. We'll see if we can get things happen here as quickly as we possibly can. The men's race will be coming in shortly. We're definitely going to be jumping in with them after a little while here as the women are just getting on course to get past their 16-kilometer mark. We appreciate you hanging out in chat here, Carter.
Hey, let's take a look at the splits coming in right now from 8K. As we anticipated, pretty close right there. No surprise to see the top team in the league, ATP Racing Venom, sitting on an 11:03, 7 seconds back to Finesse Wahoo Chicks. Not bad at all, ladies. Another 6 seconds to Sisu I Race Like a Girl Do. Cryogen Gallopin is only at 11:21, so that's 18 seconds back. Sarah's the Pros Closet at 19 seconds back from our leaders, ATP Racing Venom, as they sit in 5th. Then it's Revo Whips, Wadi Inc., WA, BRT, Dark Kittens, Core Sports, and Misunderstood. That's your top 10. It's all basically within a minute there, but what's interesting to me is Finesse Wahoo Chicks look like they're going to give ATP Racing Venom a run for their money out here, and you never know. Sisu I Race Like a Girl Do, they are right there in the wings, waiting to strike. It's going to be a run for the roses out here today as we're in with Melkonian, another one of the Freya edition Sisu I Race Like a Girl riders. All-star team here.
Another Furiosas, it looks like. We had some Furiosas also in the EMEA edition. Elise Matthews, she's always sending messages out and on the socials. Good to see her, as always, hanging out with the crew here. 3 riders, though. Interesting to see. Perhaps we're missing one, and but it looks like at 177 beats per minute now, pushing on as they leave the underwater tunnel, for Ocean Boulevard. Low 3% gradient. One of the bumps here out on course as Furiosos look to finish up the halfway point. And then it's going to be the Royal City Women's A team here. Revo is there as well on the chase. Oh, might go roll
Looking
off,
good.
it looks like. Salvatierra. This is one of the racers that's been at an in real life race. I believe one of the qualifiers for the was a part of the Cyclops / now Saris Zwift official league that went down and had an in real life championship for the Americas, actually, in Long Beach, California. So Salvatierra here, longtime Zwifter and strong athlete riding in the Americas East here for the Revo squad now. So Shields now a little ways back there. Now this team was either caught or is making up ground. The kind of speed that they're holding down right here with Cure, I believe they are making up ground right
agree.
now.
Yeah, they're flying. This is one of the few uphill sectors here of any significance, but you can see that they've got the prey in their sights just up the road here. So good call there. It won't be too long until the splits start coming in from the middle part of the race, or a little past the middle part there, the 16-kilometer checkpoint. A little tough keeping things together.
Yeah, this looks like CCNS ladies here as well. I believe we're just getting either caught and passed or also on the warpath here. It looks like maybe going backwards just a little bit, though, as we continue to move our way back.
Challenging sector right here, Nathan, that we have seen some teams unravel a bit. Not completely come apart at the seams, but I was joking yesterday when I said when you hit this, it feels like all of a sudden you're racing on 3 layers of wet carpet, right? The speed just kind of sinks into the ground as you roll through. So just try to keep the pace up.
Let's see if we can see any of the chasers. About 35 seconds back, it is going to be the Cryogen team, and they're cruising. Look at this. This is very well organized.
Wow.
Even coming on through that uphill grind, a lot of times a difficult section.
Interesting name there, Marquardt. There's a Mandy Marquardt is a well-known, one of the fastest track racers, a Type 1 diabetic, actually. Rides for Team Type 1. I wonder if that's a relation there. Wouldn't surprise me.
Looking through, and we're being told here that if I knew you were going to watch me, would smiles and wave. Yes, it's a dino, not a shark. That's the 3rd time I've heard that message. Actually, a lot of people letting us know that
what are we talking about there?
From earlier today with James and Barney over on Twitch.tv, and we brought in the real life look, and he's letting us know. Just as a heads up there, if you don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch the replay from earlier this afternoon / morning, depending on where you're at in the world. And we had some great real life looks from a lot of the streamers over on Twitch. And it was great to see. And we kept on thinking, look, that looked like a shark. I mean, come on.
It did.
That 100% looked like I'm calling it a shark.
You can call it whatever you want. Yeah, it's
it's a dinosaur. I think we got
a lot of ways
like 50 times by the chat actually on it being a dinosaur.
I really think, Nathan, that this is the sweet spot of our day, this category. It's a long day. I mean, to be honest, folks, Nathan is up at basically 2 a.m. To start doing the broadcast out of APAC.
2 a.m.,
yeah.
2 a.m.
So,
but
you have to make
we
some
get up at
coffee
11
before
or 12. That. Yeah, get up at 11 or 12 the day before.
Yeah, right. And so that's Anna Russell and Kate Bates, who we adore. Anna's racing right now, I believe. She's on the team. I know that Christina Grossman is watching the broadcast now, and that's her team. Thanks for jumping right in. What a bummer. She is heartbroken about the start. It happens to the best of us, right, Nathan? Sometimes things are out of your control, and I know that she is just such a well-respected, loved rider on this team, and certainly they're bummed to be missing out on having her horsepower. but they'll be back. This team is going to ride with her spirit with them, and that's our colleague, Anna Russell out of New Zealand, a professional triathlete, a mom, and just a wonderful person. I'm a big fan of Anna Russell, as I know you are, Nathan. She's just a cool cat.
We're seeing, Whitney post from CCR Race Like a Girl saying she lost audio, most likely in Discord. Interesting enough to see. We'll see if they can keep things together and figure out what's going to happen. Have to get some text messages in game, most likely. Anna Russell pulling a 6-7 on the front. This is flying, but they got ATP hot on their wheels right now. A little bit of headband watts, I think, coming in after some of their discussion this morning.
Well, did you hear that? You heard them talking about the visors, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I did not know that Anna Russell was a headband person, but now we do. You learn something about Anna every week, that's for sure. As we take a look again, this is Sarah's the Pros Closet. They're a team that's in the mix. One of the squads that is really, looking to walk away with some flowers, some chocolates after this one is all done and dusted. As this is going to be Cameron that we're with now. We talked to Nathan too, and I really appreciated your comments. They were spot on about, the blob technique. Actually, Anna Russell might even be the person to credit for coming up with that name. I'm not sure if that was you or Anna or where I heard that first, but this is not with 6 riders or now 5 riders. That's not a blob situation, to tell you the truth. What they're doing, keeping it single file, going old school here. I mean, it's straight ahead. As you could imagine, the wind that you're fighting, Nathan, is a block headwind, as they say. It's coming straight at you in Zwift. There is no side wind. There's no reason to echelon out because the wind is right at your nose.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that'd be really interesting if it was added.
If we had side winds.
That's correct. Yeah, it'd be super interesting as we get further
Can you
down
imagine
the road into Sturzo land and steering.
Yeah, if we had something like Dutch racing days with a 60-mile-an-hour crosswind coming at you the entire race, and watch how quickly it echeloned out. Yeah, that would be nuts. Just be careful what you ask for.
Be careful. That's a good point. I'm not sure I'm going to love that. Lieberman here now, 5-3 on the front. And have they actually closed down almost a full minute at this point?
I'm not surprised.
ATP have been walking away with this one. They're so good. Now I'm looking at the live data coming through. I'm going to try and get an idea of how this is playing out. I'm going to go back to the 8-kilometer mark to kind of get an idea of what the splits currently are. And ATP Racing Venom, Finesse Wahoo Chicks, Seaside Race Like a Girl, Cryogen Gallopin, and then it's going to be Sarsa Pros Cloud at 11:22. So ATP Racing Venom and Finesse Wahoo Chicks really the ones that are up against it here for first and second place. They're 7-second gap at the last checkpoint. I'm going to jump back in with the Finesse Wahoo Chicks. Current situation. See if we can get a little bit of insight here real quickly as to how things are playing out in the chat here in just a moment. I don't got any kind of we'll see if we can bring something in just a moment here. I think I'm going to be jumping into their Discord in just a second to get an idea of how they communicate.
I had a lot of feedback, Nathan, saying people absolutely loved that last week. I'm going to come at you with an outlier here, some interesting drama. I heard that, speaking of drama, No Drama Llamas have just put the fastest split in the C's. That is incredible. As we have all of our different divisions out here racing, Nathan, that's a big ride for the Llamas, that's for sure. So I love the fact that in our community, there's racing for all of the different levels. We're in the very, very high end. Some of these teams, actually, I'd use ATP Venom, Nathan. They would be competitive. I'm not saying they'd be the top team, but they're not going to, high nose amazing. But these ladies Finesse Wahoo as well. These are teams that would hold their own in the Premier League, just to give you a little bit of perspective. So it's cool to know that right now, not only are there teams fighting to get into the Premier League, there's teams that are fighting to get up into this league, the Community A's, where so much of the best racing happens all week long. So, Nathan, ATP Racing Venom, there it is, 21:58. Boom, boom. Out go the lights. They are killing it out here today. It's Finesse Wahoo Chicks sitting in second now with a 22:13. Actually, it's not so bad, is it? Only 15 seconds back to second. Finesse Wahoo Chicks more than keeping their heads above water right now.
Absolutely. And I think this is still up for. I mean, it's not. They're gonna have to have an amazing because ATP Racing Venom. They're kind of doing that chipping away at the block at this point, little by little, just showing that they've got maybe just a step above. I think that we're gonna have to see a complete emptying of the tank. Not that ATP are not doing that. They're gonna see the threat at this point and probably try and make some moves here and there. But Wahoo Chicks have been motivated. They've been training well. We've seen them with the upset in the past, so we'll see if they can pull something off here. As ATP Racing Venom, they're coming back with a vengeance now after the last time they raced against this team.
I think Catherine Monks is one of the breakthrough riders out of this league. Nathan, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But she, to me, is one that has really shined. I feel I should have stayed in school. As we, she has been a bright light in this league, that's for sure. Monks, one of the biggest engines, no doubt about it. She's on this Finesse Wahoo team right here. As a matter of fact, she might be listening because she's getting some coverage watts going, starting to split the team a little bit here. They'll weld that. That's exactly how you weld it together. That's the glue. That's the moment there, Nathan. You see that? But you talk about so much, the riders that bring it all back together here, and that is it. The team is fixed. 5 riders together now for Finesse Wahoo Chicks. The only way it could be better if there were 6. That was the maximum that you could start with here. Taking the time off of the 4th rider. That's critical to understand that dynamic in the team time trial. We have seen
That was
teams,
very
Nathan.
sudden. Did you see that? Laura
Yeah,
Perry, is
yeah.
that her just dropping back though? She's just dropping back, it looks like. That was wow, they are really well executed.
Snappy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that was pop, just 0 watts and right to the back there.
This
Baker
looks
taking
very
over,
good.
42 kilometers per hour. They really got this nailed down.
Yeah, so I mean, we are into so for some of these teams, you know, they've only done this 4, 5, 6 times. There's other teams that have done this dozens of times, and I would actually wonder, Nathan. That's probably not an answerable question because there have been so many variations of teams. But are there riders that have done 40 team time trials? Sure, and that's probably about the maximum. It's once a week for a long time. People would race on Thursdays, and that would be it. Now we're starting to see more of a frequency of team time trialing because it's part of the Zwift Racing League, which we're stuck into right now, looking at a team. I mean, Nathan, if you're going to put a demonstration video on how to ride a team time trial, these ladies aren't doing too bad of a job here. The goal, if you can distribute the power throughout the team evenly, would be to have riders taking 30-second to 45-second pulls as they rotate off. The rider behind them just keeping that speed up, not accelerating, not letting it bog down. That's a very challenging thing to do. That turn that they just took right here, Nathan, that's the kind of thing that can throw a spanner in the works, but they handled that very well. Finesse Wahoo, a professional outfit, executing exactly like that. Professionals right now.
Yeah, 100%. They're doing a great job here. And looking at the current time splits, though, these two I Race Like a Girl do just a little ways back here. 22. Is that going to be 22:33? So 20 seconds back. They are a threat still, I think, between Finesse Wahoo as well. Now, did ATP actually make the catch there? Is that going to be right?
I think Finesse is about to catch Cryo, I believe. If you look up the road, I don't think that's going to be Sisu. They would have started a little for earlier, I think.
Maybe a second ATP. That's what it is. It's a second ATP. So there are multiple teams all under the same brands at times. It does get a little bit mixed up because of that.
Right.
So I'm going to jump in real quickly. We said that we would give a shout out over to our man Carter hanging out in that D category. So it's great to see that they are out on course hammering away. And always love to see all the participation across all the categories here in the men's race as well. We'll jump in with the rest of the men as well in just a few moments. But this is going to be the situation currently as it stands in the men's race in the D category. And a big shout out to this is the situation in the A's. Finesse Wahoo walking away with that 9:57. That's a sub 10. Absolutely flying 10:11 there, as you can see. And then Cryogen Alp d'Huez. That is that checkpoint at the 8 kilometer mark. Looking through for the D category, though, real quick with who we are jumping in here with the Cryogen team. and this is going to be the herd of plowing Pincherins are currently Percheron at 1254. BRT Dakota Cryogen Mauna Loa, though. I believe that's going to be this team, if I'm not incorrect. I'm not seeing any other cryogens on there. So solid ride here so far from Brooke as well as Struthers. We're seeing Mitchell and then Mr. T. I'm going to call him. This is Mr. T for sure. Just that's the name from here on out. And then we've got Mr. Ryan Carter, who jumped in with us and gave us a shout out. Appreciate you. And with a solid time so far, they're in they're being competitive here. ATP Racing Helium, 1321 versus the Mauna Loa there at third place, 1321 as well. I'm missing you there, Dave. I got no audio from you there.
Sorry there, Nathan. I was saying ATP Racing Butane is the team that will be the last to take the start. Should be. You never know. They might catch. They've been really flying out there this year. The Dirty Drafters will be trying to hold them off as they come through checkpoint 1. This is Cryogen that we're in with now. We were talking yesterday about how, or actually it was earlier today, now that I think about it, about how welcoming this team is. There's a lot of different squads. If you're interested in getting involved in racing yourself, Season 2 will be coming up in mid-January. So we'll take a short holiday break, and then we'll be right back at it to start another season. I know people are already looking forward to that as we just wrapped up the Premier League. I think it's cool that the Community League has a little bit more racing, as we've still got some things to sort out around the world about our promotions and demotions. This is an interesting shot, Nathan. I love that you're holding with that as we now are going to go over and jump in with Finesse Wahoo. And in the A's, this has been the fastest team out on course. And as far as I know, Nathan, they're the only team I remember going sub 10 minutes at that 8-kilometer checkpoint. Talking about Finesse Wahoo here.
Yeah, and we are hearing a little bit of their chat coming on through over in the Discord channel here. We've got Greg Blue, Jake Campbell, Jordan Shane is in there, Matt Usborne, as well as Timmy Bauer. And then they do have a.
Don't rotate till the bottom.
So we're going to keep eyes on how things are playing out between the riders out here. I believe now, is there 2 separate teams, though, I think, in the men's A category for the Finesse, as we do see them. Finesse Wahoo with that 9:57, as you can see, 14.3. Trying to follow. Yeah, we do see. This is going to be their. Not their top team. This is, what would you call it? The Devo team, Dave?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Absolutely.
Trying to get an idea here, if I can, on where things stand. Let's see if I can find Jordan Shane actually out here out on course. And
that's
get an
perfect.
idea.
Yeah, as you're finding, and there he is, Jordan Shane. So, yeah, folks, just so you can understand, we have the men and the women with all of the different categories out there, and we're jumping in now with the men's A category and the top team at this point, Finesse Wahoo. And, boy, you can see why. What a well-drilled outfit this is. I did want to highlight the Canadian from British Columbia, Jordan Shane. He's going to be going to the World Championships. That is a big deal as he'll represent Canada there. There's a lot of excitement around Worlds coming up on the 9th of December. It's stunning to me, Nathan, that is now basically 1 week away here. Incredible how quickly that came up on us with Nations Challenge happening as well. There's a lot of events as we're into the business end for our community riders. There's a rider who left his team earlier,
right to the top, Matt.
by Finesse Wahoo, Usborne, killing it right now. I mean, Nathan, they're hitting this 3% incline at 50 kilometers per hour at the bottom. They'll scrub some speed, obviously, but I mean, they're still traveling at 44 kilometers per hour, and they're going to settle in right there. They are flying.
2, 1, Dan.
You can hear as they do come on through each one of the riders. He does say 3, 2, 1. Dan, make the move on through, and that's going to be Dan Yankis now coming on through at 6.5 watts per kilogram. He's getting an idea of what it is to be de-essing through there. Very interesting to hear this now.
Nice and steady, Dan. Perfect.
So all right, you can speak right over it there, Dave. Speak right over it.
Sure, yeah, no, that's great.
2.
So I am wondering,
1,
Nathan.
Jake.
that countdown there is coming from someone who is not in the race. You can tell by the breathing pattern there. So who is the director for the team?
I believe Alex Tenselhoff is going to be the one who is making the calls. No, Tenselhoff is actually
Good job,
racing.
Jake. Good job.
No, it's going to be
Good
Greg
power,
Boulot,
good
actually.
power.
Greg Boulot currently is the one because
Solid.
he is not racing from what I can see. As you do
All
here
right.
and here, encouraging his athletes.
And
Hold on through. That's going to be
and
Jake
Nathan-
Campbell on the front that he's encouraging on in the Finesse Wahoo with
3,
currently this top
2,
time right now.
1. Alex.
Okay, perfect. So as you listen to that, Nathan, I love his style. One of the things, everybody's different, and some directors talk too much. Some directors
Good
feel
job,
a
Alex.
need to
Bring it
keep
up,
a
bring it up
constant
50K.
chatter going, and that's not the case
better.
here.
Good
He's
job,
just
good
giving
job.
them little bit of encouragement, the information they need, and then lay back. This is a very solid job by our director here. He's
3.
clear.
Yep, I went ahead and pulled that there just for a moment,
Yeah,
guys.
that's
We are
cool,
going to be
isn't it?
jumping in with the. I want to hear what they're now. I want to hear the difference. Now it's a good, we got to hear exactly what it was like in amongst the men's scene.
And you notice it's not a lot of nonsense, right? It's not a lot of information that you don't need or things that kind of just get you out of your game. All he's giving you is exactly what you need to hear with the attaboy. And that's ideal. That they are flying. So this is a 2-team catch that we're actually this is a 3-team catch that we're looking at. Unprecedented
Keep
out
going,
here.
KK, keep
They
going.
are
Don't drop
literally
there. Keep
nailing
going to the
back
group.
3 squads in 1 kilometer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Holy moly.
Keep
That's
going to the
Zson.
group.
So we're
That's it,
jumping
KK.
in with the Finesse Wahoo chicks right now. This is going to be their team bus now.
That's it, girls.
And getting
Use the draft. Just go through
Ryan
as a group.
McGee is
Go through in
currently
the
their
draft.
DS that's
As soon
on
as we
right
get
now,
out the
telling
other
them
side
how
of
to get
cryogen
through
here.
these 2 teams
Caroline,
right
I want you
now.
on the front. Give it
Speeding
everything
up,
you got
giving
until you're done,
Caroline
then you can
direction there,
cut,
telling
then you can do
Caroline
whatever you
below
want
to
to the
give the
finish.
pull at the last moments here. You can hear her communicating
Come on,
back
Laura.
now at this point.
Wild.
Gotcha. Josh.
Absolutely wild out here right now. So the name of the game
All right,
here,
Laura,
folks, if you're
give
not
it-
familiar with
give
team
it
time
everything
trialing,
you
is to
got.
not
Just give it
do
everything.
what's happening right now. Is don't sit on another team. You kind of are obligated, if they make
That's
the
it. We got
catch,
one
just
more
to
group,
lay
y'all. We're
back
gonna
for
roll
a
through
moment
here.
and let them pass.
Keep going, group,
So
girls.
it's a cryo rider, I believe, right here, who does
He's
need
really
to back
tough
off
here.
a
I
little
know.
bit.
Keep going.
You'll hear the
All right,
director
Caroline,
saying,
you're on the
"Come
front.
on, get off the back."
Everything.
And
Right
she's
now.
doing it
Let's go
now.
ahead and see how it
It's
works
your
out
last
here.
pull.
Give it a little space.
We're almost
Let's
there.
hear this
If you can
out
get
for
us
just
all
a
the way to
second.
the
We're
end
going
of
to
this
give them the space
semicircle.
to hear what this final case sounds like.
Laura, start surging now. Start surging now, not before you get there. Or when you get there, start surging now to go through. That's it. Well done. Keep going through. You got it. You got it. Nice, Laura. As soon as Caroline's done,
See, it's incredibly
Danielle, it's
quiet
your
and
turn.
scary.
Go,
The
Dan.
suffering there. It's amazing. I went ahead and deafened it for just a moment here. I'm gonna just we're gonna hype this up for this final here as they do come in. They could be they are right up against it here at a 30-29 from what we're seeing right now at the last split. ATP Racing Venom versus they actually were bettering.
They actually had a faster
They have
split.
it. They
Yeah,
have a
they're-
faster split. I just haven't organized it correctly on the board at this moment. I'll go ahead and change those up. As we are seeing 30-29 from Wahoo Fitness Chicks here. And we got these final moments in their team car. What it sounds like, they may be able to hold this off. They've been holding at 3 seconds under the direction of their DS. Brian McGee, Caroline's been on the front, now Bolt as well here. Let's see what this sounds like. They're going to be
Almost there,
hammering
girls.
away in
You can
these
see the
final
finish.
K here. They're about to
Dig in and
maybe
give
be
everything you
winning
got.
this. This could be the winning move, and they had
Everything
second
you got.
time for an
Come on.
upset here today.
Yeah, and
Sit.
let's see how they
Sit.
want to play this
Ride each
again.
other's wheels all the way
The
in.
finish line is right
Come on,
there, so
Caroline.
it's just
I know you got a
bury the
good-
accelerator down on the floorboard now as they're going to be galloping across the line. It is
That's it,
going
girls.
to be a razor-thin
Nice.
margin. Yes. Well, again, that's Finesse Wahoo Chicks across the line. ATP Racing Venom, they started last, so they'll be looks like the final team. Or, well, we're still waiting for them to come through. I don't think they will be the final team out on course here today.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing to hear, like the organization out there, though. I mean, that's really, really impressive.
Very cool.
I really cool to see and hear how incredibly organized their teams are. The commitment coming in from the DSs as well. Just so much respect to that team and what they put in to try and take down these wins out here. And it looks like it really paid off today. We'll wait and see what we do get for the finale. But they were able to bring back a lot of time from that finesse, from that ATP Racing Venom there, as we did see.
So the men started about 10 minutes after the women, and we're going to jump in now with some of the A men. So Finesse Wahoo, it's very cool. I love the teams that have representation in the men's and the women's field.
Okay.
And we'll listen to some directing here.
I went ahead and silenced it for just a moment here, just to
Alrighty.
make sure that we're not interrupting things too much. I want to make sure that want to let them have their celebratory moments as well. And it would have been nice. I don't want to make sure that they know, hey, you're live as well, just in case that things get, Well, the
Bring
candid moments are also pretty cool as well.
Yeah, tighten it up, guys. Tighten it up. Slow
here
it
we
down
go.
slightly. Jordan and Matt. Group is coming up from behind. Let them catch
that's
their
gonna
legs a
be
little bit.
Greg Berleau now.
Matt, when you come in for your rotation because you're going uphill, just go a little bit easier to get everybody back in line. So 3, 2, 1. Matt, bring it through. Just nice and soft. Get everybody back. Let them catch their breath.
Great to see. Great to see. So that's the situation in the team cars. As you were saying, a lot of times I think also those who are newer to the world of Discord, they don't always know how to do a push-to-talk only type situation. Maybe there's a little bit too much going on in a Discord channel when it, you can tell it's all business day.
It gets distracting.
There isn't any,
Yeah.
this isn't a social time. These guys are giving everything they got, and it's pretty quiet unless somebody needs to talk.
Yeah, push to talk is 100% the way to go because there's some riders that, the heavy breathing and the panting and the groaning and all of that, you just don't want to hear it if you're another rider. So, yeah, absolutely. Only talk when you need to. I guess one of those age-old rules, right? Only speak when it's necessary. And when you do speak, make sure you've got something to say and make it clear and then leave the line open. So we're watching another catch right now.
Reminds me of military.
Again,
when things are really on the line, you don't say something unless it needs to be
no
said.
chatter.
There's no
Yeah,
chatter
no
on the
chatter.
line. No chatter on the line. You cause any confusion, somebody dies. I mean,
Right.
I think there's like a little bit of that, that feeling of like, look, you don't mess around with this line because we're putting everything on the line right now, and you can mess up the order, or we need to be able to understand what's going on, cause confusion, and if there's any confusion, all this sacrifice is for nothing sometimes. So I love it, absolutely love it. Timmy Bauer on the front now, giving a pull. Look at this new team and some new motivation at 6.2 watts. We're cooking 500 watts almost coming from Mr. Bauer.
Yeah, hey, new team. Nice to meet you. How about I pull you along here for a while just to make myself more valuable to you? As Timmy Bauer out of Northern California, one of the great spirits here, a great addition to the Finesse Wahoo team. And they are using him to the utmost. Jordan Shane now coming through. So this is a solid ride by Finesse Wahoo out here today. They got to be really happy. They've made a few catches. Both the men and the women are having a great day today.
Yeah, I'm going to real quickly here take a look and see if we can grab some of the times as they do come through at that last checkpoint rather than at this 22K, just to try and get an idea. And it was going to be Finesse Wahoo at a 19:49, getting the better of ATP Racing Hydrogen. I do believe we have a couple of no-shows with Cannondale Echelon and KRTA Kiss my Anthea, as you do see there. With a no start. So they'll get removed in a little bit from the start list there. 2027, and 2050 from Dirt Alert. But those times with the 22K, those will be overtaken shortly, most likely, as the riders do come on through and these boards get updated. We'll be taking a look at the women's side of things in just a moment for the results as they come on in. But we do see Wolfpack there at that 31:11. That's the slowest time. That's the order that they're currently in for that slowest time. So we'll leave it here on the 22K until things get a little bit more updated. Looking through then a little ways back, the meme team here on the chase. As you see, I think a lot of these teams with Finesse Wahoo going so incredibly fast out here today, they've caught plenty of these riders and these teams out here so far.
Yeah, the teams that have got their act together as far as team time trialing go have made hay out there today. We've seen, way more passing on this course than I would have anticipated. That looks like Central Grand Central Station at rush hour right now as we're picking up O'Farrell of the ODZ Sharknado team.
Looking at ATP here, having a interesting day. A little ways back here from Finesse Wahoo, but Walter Zwart, Scafardi, as we're seeing here as well. We're also looking at Reed. Were they caught by Finesse as well? I mean, Finesse are just having a walkaway ride. We're starting to see the cream of the crop, I think, Dave, when it comes to the Premier Division talent. Those who have really done their homework, gotten into race fitness specifically for the Zwift Racing League, as well as gotten their act together on putting together solid team time trials. Not that the rest of these teams are not, but I just think you are seeing this professionalism start to come forward, which you need in order to get to the top ranks in the Zwift Racing League in that Premier Division level.
Well, you know how it is, Nathan. For some of the riders, I think they just said, look, this is just not for me. I don't enjoy team time trialing. It's frustrating. It's a massive challenge. And that's tough because the teams that embraced it and went all in with it, this is where we're really starting to see that separation, right? When I use that term, the team time trial specialists, well, they're coming to the fore now. This is a team. Perfect example with Finesse Wahoo. They've clearly done their work. They've got a director who's spot on. The riders are all, you can see that they follow the direction. They don't think that they know more themselves. They don't want to be rebels on this team. And I think that's a big part of it with team time trialing and the personality of the squad, Nathan, is we really do, there's an element of just shut up and ride, I think, when you're doing a team time trial, right? We don't need a whole bunch of feedback in the middle of the race from you on things. Just keep pedaling.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that in a lot of ways, especially when you do have somebody who's committing to some time at the DS. And I struggle, to be honest. I do struggle with that myself in just in the shut up and ride situation. A lot of times, trying to do more than maybe you can, trying to make things. Well, we already got some results coming on in there. We kind of jumped the gun just a tad there for a second, and
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
A little bit of a spoiler alert coming on in there, but looking for some more.
No, but I hear what you're saying, Nathan. That's one of the biggest challenges for the experienced riders, especially experienced e-racing Zwifters, is how do I so we're all familiar with mansplaining, right? Well, there has to be some equivalent of Zwift-splaining out there too, where it is a real challenge to keep people motivated, keep the attitude positive, try to get people to give a little more or understand what we're trying to do here. And that's an in real life challenge as well, without any doubt. As we're starting to see some finishing teams here, the No Drama Llamas are already done and dusted. Good job, ladies. Sisu, I Race Like a Girl, the Atalanta edition, done and dusted as well. And I'm afraid to even say it, the Sisu, I Race Like a Girl, it's Papalotti.
Nice job there. Nice. I think I got that there. It's Papalotti. Papalotti. It's Papalotin. I think that has something to do with it's
Papalotti.
It's all there you go. There we go. So as we move our way backwards here, we do have, looks like Team Fearless out here killing it. I did see a little chatter coming on through as well from Steve, Rebecca DeBoer there saying Team Finesse is killing it. They got a lot of fans, it looks like, out there in the world of chat. So good to see. Now, as we do have Lama Stay coming on through. This is going to be Adele and Trish. Kat is there as well. Fearlessly, they're a little bit mixed up here. Looks like amongst each other, though. ATP Hive to the line, as you can see. So odd teams finish all at the same time.
Is Lama Stay an offshoot of the No Drama Llamas?
That is a great question.
We'll have to find out.
Absolutely.
Llama Nation.
It's looks like Z-Sun left the rider hanging out in the pens. Let's see if
Martin is confirming that Llama Stay is related to the No Drama Llamas, so their empire is growing. Looks like we're back in the pen right now.
Well, now Fowler from Herd of Zebras is going to help us out, it looks like. Cameron, big kick to the line. Let's go, Herd. At 3.2 watts per kilogram, and getting the solo ride to the line here. Is there like invisible riders around here? I don't think. Oh, look at that! They're popping up riders out of nowhere. 2.6 you see, 102nd
Like
place,
magic.
getting a solid ride in those still, as you can see. So good on them. Let's
Things
jump back
get a
in though.
little when we get near the finish area in these pens. Things get a little bit wild. We were joking during one of the earlier
all
races.
kinds of wild.
Yeah. And this is Finesse Wahoo, Matt Usborne, killing it out here. Great ride today, guys. I'm going to be curious to see where this one stacks up. They're going to bring 5 riders home. As they say, when the horses can smell the barn, everything changes. As we do have a bunch of results coming your way. So just hang in there, folks. We'll make sure we cover all of the different categories for you as we get to that point, the business end here, the finale for the America's East, men and women. Absolutely love this time zone.
Good job, Matt.
Jump back in with the Finesse Wahoo team. We're going to hear the final
Got
moments
about a
here of their
minute and a
team
bit
time trials.
left.
Big thank you to them for letting us jump in and hear what their team car is like here. Timmy Barrow now to the front, as you can see, 175
You
beats
got
per
the
minute.
8. This is when you want to start putting it out.
That's going to be Greg Blue there. That is their team director. They've got the 8. I wonder what that means.
On me. I'm going to go a big one.
Okay, get on his wheels, guys. Get on Jordan's wheel.
Alec, White Sox.
See, Jordan doesn't want to light the fuse until he's got them on his wheel. So you see what they're doing,
Get
Nathan.
on the wheel. Get on the wheel.
Jordan's saying, I got one.
Come on, guys.
This is all to the line, all
Get
in
on
at this
there.
point. 11 watts per
And now
kilometer, 8
watch.
watts per kilogram. The
There's
orange, they're
banner.
going to
Let's
blow
go.
up
Pull
now at
through,
this
pull
point.
through. Give it what you've got.
Canuck up,
Come
guys.
on, guys. This is what you've got. Let's go. Come on. Pull it. Harder. Harder.
Bauer up there.
Come
Look
on.
at the watts.
8s, 9s.
Wattage
Let's go.
Cottage.
Come on,
Timmy
come on.
Bauer,
Pull it harder.
Jordan
Pull it
Shane
harder.
bringing them home.
Come on, guys.
Great job.
Great
by Jordan.
directing.
Yeah,
Good
loving
job.
it. Absolutely loving
That's
it.
awesome.
Now we do have
Fucking
ATP
awesome.
coming to the line here.
Whoop.
that
That was what we were trying to avoid.
That's exactly,
in the
that's what
spirit of
exactly what you'd be
competition.
expecting. Exactly what you'd be expecting here.
No,
That's
and
classic
that's-
esports as well. For some reason, I'm in the esports world. It just tends to be the thing.
Hey,
that I've seen.
no harm, no foul as we move on here. So Finesse Wahoo, Nathan, look at that. What a ride. Boys, congratulations. Chapeau, as they say. Oh, that was a clinic out there, Nathan. I think all the way from soup to nuts there, from the directing to the inter-team. Do you hear that the only time that Jordan Shane spoke while we were listening, what he said mattered? It was absolutely...
Yeah, I think so. Jordan went to the front, but I think Alex was saying that he was going to take over and take a crazy pull. But I think it was Jordan's turn at that point. And so it was an interesting situation because Jordan was going to the front and was told to go to the front, but Alex had said, "I've got one more in me." And I think they were all kind of at that point trying to just say, "Look, this is it. I've got it. We can throw everything down to the line," because there wasn't a whole lot of time left. And at that point, a lot of times for me, and what I tend to do in those situations is I know that there's not a whole lot left. And if I end up just blowing up, I know they're all going to make it to the line without me at that point, So
that's absolutely the let the chips fall where they may moment of the race. At this point now, it's like, hey, guys, just pretend like ride that bike like you stole it from in front of a 7-Eleven right now. Just go.
100%. Now, we do have a lot of riders here still finishing up here in the D category. Let's see if we can jump on over to the C's as well. And then we will be having the Americas West with Kate Bates and Dave covering the men's and the women's side of things there as well. But go ahead and jump on in over toward the CJBC. It's going to be Bennett and Wallback, Hassani, McKenzie all finishing up their race here in this D category. They were one of the first ones to head on out on course. We'll see what the splits are for them in just a moment here, and then we'll start getting results in for the rest of the teams. This team here, I'm going to try and get an idea of where things are standing between them. CJBC, now it's difficult a lot of times to follow along when the tags are not exactly the same as what we do have across the board here. Let's see if we can get an idea between them. Now, maybe they're not in the top 10. Perhaps that's why we're not seeing something there from them out on the leaderboards. But as you do see the current situation here, Herta Plowing, Pertron, they continue to have some domination, as you can see. Cryogen Mauna Loa in that second place. It looks like coming on through, and then it's going to BRT Dakota. ATP Racing Helium right now 37.45, and STL Newbies, Dirty Drafters, ATP Racing Butane. A few of those still to come on through. Definitely want to take a look here at the splits also in the C category. Give you guys an idea as we'll jump around a little bit between each of these as they do come into the finish line.
Well, I was looking at this Tron bike, Nathan. I finally decided this morning that I'm going to wait until 2021, but I'm going to start my assault on getting a Tron bike.
Oh, you haven't signed up yet? We haven't yet.
No, I never thought
for it yet.
I wanted to just see. I wanted to commit to Zwift for a few months and see, just if I was really going to do this. And now that I'm a year into really doing it, I decided, all right, I'm going to go for it. I ride out here every day. This is exactly where I ride because it's the flattest route that you can find, to tell you the truth. So the climbing is going to be a big change, but you got to put challenges out there for yourself. And that Tron bike, so I'm only about 50,000 meters away from getting it right now. It's going to be a while.
Just so everybody knows, that's where you start. That's where you start, is at 50,000 meters to go for the Tron bike. But, if you just, we need to.
You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. And, when I was going after the Tron, I think I just ended up doing repeats on Watopia Mountain. It was just like, all right, well, this is what needs to happen if I'm going to be grabbing this thing. So, me and you, Dave, we're going to line up for repeats on the Watopia Mountain. We're just going to be doing,
wait.
I'll be doing 3x20s. And what are we doing for you there, Dave?
1x2s, I think. Maybe is where I'll start. But see, I have to say that, once you make that commitment to Zwifting yourself, it's such a great feeling to finding that rhythm and making it a part of your day. And the next step is racing, for sure. And I think for anybody who's done that, right, Zwifted consistently, the reality check of even jumping into a D-level race as to where these guys are at, or women, whatever your case might be, it's eye-opening, for sure. And, we've said this many times, but the only way to really get better at something, whether it's racing your bike or playing basketball or playing chess, is to do it with people who are better than you. I don't know of a truism that applies more than that one to this world. And I'm ready for that challenge. I love it.
It'll be awesome, too. When getting the Tron bike is quite the accomplishment, and being able to put on the glowing wheels, there's not a lot of people. Well, there's plenty of Tron bikes out there, that is for sure. But, I mean, there is the reality that, the percent. I'd like to get a number on that because I don't want to misquote, but I think the percentage of people that are on Zwift versus how many have the Tron bike. We watch a lot of racing, and so because we watch a lot of racing, right, I think we see more and an exorbitant amount of Tron bikes comparatively to the population that is on Zwift, and so it definitely is.
I don't see that many. Nathan, when I'm out riding at 8 o'clock in the morning here in Colorado, I don't see very many Tron bikes out there. You're right. It's 100% when I'm covering the racing is when you see a lot of them. And I mean, I'd be curious to know how many of our racers are level 50 Zwifters. It's not all that many, to tell you the truth. So, all right, picking up the action now in with the Ds. We've mentioned that we have all of these different categories. These guys have got their act together, Nathan. Cryogen USMES, USMES. I'm trying to figure out what that means now.
U.S. I think it's the military. I believe.
That's what I was thinking too, like
USMES.
Marine something, or let us know. That's what social media is for, is correcting Dave Towle.
Yep, that's the only reason they created it, Dave.
That's one of the reasons they built that internet. That's
for correcting Dave Towle. BET, we
it's
got
working
the
great.
Outcasts here, it looks like. And it looks like everybody wants to disappear on us again. And so we're
They
just
do
gonna go
that
ahead and
every-
do that. Yeah, they like to just...
This is the Bermuda's Triangle of the course that we're going through. People just disappear. Sometimes you never hear from them again. It's a shame.
Oh, Dave. It's too much, almost too much. I don't know if I can continue on. Okay, so Outcast here, BRT bringing it home just behind the USMES boys, and then Dakotas are. This is gonna be BRT Dakota. Actually, is who this is, with Martin.
BRT
Where are
British.
they standing here?
Let's take a look now. So it's always interesting when we jump in with our.
6th place currently.
Oh wow!
Yeah, having
All
a
right,
good ride.
good
It
job,
looks like,
guys.
and they're battling. It looks like with the Cryogen Mauna Loa. So that is for 5th place currently. Maybe see if get a little bit of a kick out of them here at this point.
You know, Nathan, Kate Bates and I, who will be joining us for the next broadcast, we're talking about there's a Costa Rican team that races in the America's West division who are coming up next. Mauna Loa might be the coolest climb on planet Earth. Cryogen uses all of the renowned climbs around the globe. Pirasord or Alpe d'Huez. Mount Evans was on there. But Mauna Loa goes from sea level up to, there you go. There's our answer. It goes from sea level up to almost 14,000 feet on one road, one climb, as just about every ecological zone of the Earth is covered. So there you go. Thank you, Lakotas.
Look longtime viewer, very much supportive of the whole world community live here. Loving, i.e., correcting Dave Towle, the internet and social media. So.
It's been a great day,
Morgan
hasn't it,
Aldridge,
Nathan?
Ned Bowen as well. Good
We've
stuff
had a
coming in.
blast. Yeah,
That's
so
what
we
this
have
is
a
all
chance
about.
to chuckle now. Right, it's been a serious day of racing, to tell you the truth. There have been some just nail-biting races going on as we wrap up things here. Again, to put it in perspective for you, we start racing in the zone that we call APAC. That's our colleagues Anna Russell and Kate Bates who start the day off. Well, here in the United States, as Nathan said, he gets up around midnight. So it's basically a 24-hour trip around the globe. We pick up the hotly contested Europe, Middle East, and Africa time zones. That's where the lion's share of the teams is in Europe. It's pretty incredible, actually, when you look at the volume of racing. It's enough that it puts Zwift Power under a lot of pressure every Tuesday afternoon, that's for sure. And we then move into the America's East, where we are right now, wrapping things up. And remembering that in all of those different America's West will wrap things up. That's coming up in a couple of hours, or probably less than that now. But one thing is for sure, Nathan, it's not just the A-level racing. We have the B, C, and D categories. And this is the D's finishing up right now, one of the herd teams across the line. There's herds of reindeer and rhinos and otters.
It's a zoo out there.
Yes.
It's a literal zoo out there. I am being told also that CJBC was the Cranky Joints Bike Club. And Llama State and No Drama Llama are the same.
They are related.
Team. Are they exactly the same team, though?
I think it's the different name for the same team. It's like calling Montreal Canadiens the Habs, right?
Understood.
They're going to be impressed. The No Drama Llamas have now been compared with no tongue-in-cheek to the Montreal Canadiens.
Well,
that's a big day.
Wait a second. Like they went from like No Drama Llama. Okay, well I can see No Drama, then Llama Stay. Okay, I got it. So having some fun with that one, 100%. Now I'm gonna take a look here and see. Do we have? No. Okay, I thought maybe Kate was already tuning in with us here. You just bring her on in as well as we finish up the broadcast. Why not? As we start to get in here, I'm gonna see if perhaps we can get in with the little bit of an interview. See if I can bring this in. We've got all kinds of, my Discord's flipping out with notifications. Turn off your notifications if you don't want them on Discord. You guys, when you start getting moving here, sometimes when you join a new Discord channel, they can just flip out on you for half an hour until you figure out what the heck.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, Dave knows all about that one. I'm gonna see if we can jump in here and get a little bit of a post-race interview as we wait for a few more of the results to come on in. With first jumping in with the men. Let's see if these boys can. No, I think I got push to talk on. Be nice to me here, people. They know what they're doing because they make you turn push to talk on in
Smart.
their will only work. This browser tab has broken. Download. Okay. So let's go ahead and
Nathan's
see how
trying
this
to
is looking.
join the Finesse Wahoo team right now. We had a chance to be in car, hear their communications today during their ride. They were flying out there. It was a really good, insightful look. Great team to be embedded with, as we learned a lot about how a team, and not every team does it as well as Finesse Wahoo either, that's for sure. So we really went in and found a perfect example of how to execute a team time trial from the directors and riders' perspective.
Yeah, and we may have to say no. I apologize, everybody, but
Well, we'll have one more shot at it during season 1 here.
yeah, my amazing situation here, which is pretty amazing.
It's insane.
It's
Yeah.
actually insane. But we're Discord is having doesn't seem to like my virtual audio cable at this point. We'll just leave it at that. So, well, let's go ahead and take a look at some results. So I think that they are going to be coming in. The women have finished up quite a while ago, so I think we should have those all sorted out. And then the men for the season, the D's, is the next thing that we were waiting for. So go ahead and jump on in and take a look and see how things played out. It looks like Finesse did have an amazing day out there today, though, with the women's results. And this will be the second time that we had a little bit of an upset, I think, in this racing here. 3 seconds different. ATP Racing Venom, we're looking to try and defend on the day, but it didn't end up working out that way, with Finesse Wahoo Chicks taking it down, Dave.
Yeah, and look how close it was, folks. Just 3.61 seconds back to ATP Racing Venom, who come in as the top team in our season-long series. This is race 8 of 10, Sarah's to Pros Closet. Man, you wonder if they had Christina Grossman, what would the difference have been? 22.06 back today for third for Sarah. Sisu I Race Like a Girl Do in fourth, Cryogen Gallopin in fifth, Revo Whip sixth, Wadi Inc. WA in seventh, Coor Sports 8th, BRT the Dark Kittens edition in ninth, and Misunderstood rounding out your top 10. You can see as that's noteworthy, Nathan. Finesse Wahoo Chicks, a 4.1 watts per kilo, 4.4 for Racing Venom. So they did more work, but they didn't go as fast. And so that speaks to technique for Finesse Wahoo Chicks. Congratulations, ladies.
Yeah, amazing, right? Now, I want to speak to something here really quickly about what's happening here in this division specifically, because this battle is a come-from-behind battle that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks at this point, and this is how things stood coming in to this race. As you can see, with ATP Racing and Sarsa closing up Finesse Wahoo Chicks, they've been making their way up the leaderboard at this point. So we'll have to take a look after we get through some of these here. Very interesting situation. Now in the C category, it's going to be Wadi Inc. WC2, 42.38, followed up by 16 seconds with Tsunami. Tsunami, we're at the top, I believe. So there's another battle going on there with Wadi having a solid ride, and they were actually 119 points for 135 with Tsunami. So team time trialing seemed to pay off for some of these other teams that are starting to make their way up the leaderboard in the back end of the season here. Now ATP Racing Hive 33 seconds back, with BRT Flaming Kittens 35 seconds back and forth. Revo Doves 5th place. Sisu I Race Like a Girl, it's Papalati. There you go, Dave. 6th place and No Drama Llamas Llama Stay, making it happen there in 7th, calming things right on down with the meditation as Aaron yells in the background. Sisu I Race Like a Girl, Atlanta, followed up by Herder Otters and Margaritas. That's going to be your top 10 in the women's situation. I'm going to see if I can get an update here. And wow, things are tight at the top here, Dave.
Well, they certainly are. All right, so what a day of racing for the women in America's East. ATP Racing Venom, they don't win today, but they hold on top of the table with 153. And then we're deadlocked now. This is going to be an incredible final 2 weeks of the Zwift Racing League as Sarah's the Pros Closet and Finesse Wahoo Chicks. We'll need to remember this for World of Zwift, Nathan, as this is going to be, I would have to say, you look around the globe, this might be the most hotly contested division here for the women in America's East. Sisu I Race Like a Girl Do sitting in 4th, Cryogen Gallopin 5th, Revo Whips, BRT Dark Kittens, Wadi Inc. WA, ATP Racing Stingers, and Misunderstood. That is your top 10 with 8 races done, 2 to go here in the ZRL. I'll throw it back to you, Nathan, for the C's.
Tsunami holding down, but they are being chased very quickly by ATP Race 9 and Wadi Inc. WC2. BRT Flamey Kittens there in fourth, 129, battling still with the Revo Doves, 2-point spread. Margaritas have backed off just a little bit. It looks like they're 7 seconds back. Herd of Otters followed up by Cryogen Beast. There's going to be no drama. Llama is gaining 4 points on the day, I believe that is, over TCNS Merry Pranksters. So that's the situation currently in the C's. Let's go ahead and see how things played out in the men's for the America's East Division 1A. And there's a situation. Finesse Wahoo dominating amongst the men and the women out here today. 34. That is a screaming last time at 4.8 watts per kilogram. That is technique. That is amazing. We're talking, how far off is that from the time from Canyon Esports?
I was just thinking the same thing, and that's the kind of time that you'd expect to see a 5.2, 5.3 watts per kilo for.
We saw something similar at 5.5 earlier from another team. I mean, that's amazing technique from them.
That's the name of the game here in the team time trial, folks. I mean, obviously power is king, but when you take that, the next thing is how do you use that power, the technique. And wow, Finesse Wahoo put on a clinic today, folks. ATP Racing Hydrogen in second at 37 seconds back. It's 121 back for third place, and Cryogen Alp d'Huez. Wadi Inc. A in fourth, Dirt Alert fifth, Royal City Cycling in sixth, FWT Party in seventh, the Rouleurs Polo Velo A in eighth, ATP Racing Oxygen ninth, Endurance Works will round out our top 10. That's America's East Division 1A for the men. Here's the B's.
In the B category, 37-37, screaming time from FW 3.9. And they have been walking away with this league, and it goes to show why they got 20 seconds over Dirty Ducks and Dirty Diesels. Another situation only separated by less than a second there. Great ride coming in from the Dirt team on second and third place. Lions Art there in fourth, followed up by Gotham Grinders on the River Train. Both very close race there for them. 1 second difference, it looks like, for fifth and sixth. Dirty Watts followed up by Rulers Polo Velo battling out both for seventh and eighth. Another 1 second difference. RR Northern Rhinos and Wadi Inc. B2 keeping the trend. 1 second difference between 9th and 10th. That's going to be the B category that has some great rivalries, it looks like, here in the TTT.
And now it's not only my favorite vitamin, it's my favorite division, the C's here, with ATP Racing Nitrogen taking the win with a fast 40-11. 37 seconds back was Herd Mentality Zeus Underwear in third, 56 seconds back. And then fourth place for Endurance Nation C2C. Fifth, going to Dirty Time 2 Grind. Sixth place is Dirty Grinders. Seventh is Cryogen SA Calabra. ATP Racing Freon in eighth, Apogee Racing ninth, and the feared Nuclear Rhinos, RR Nuclear Rhinos, rounding out your top 10 for your men's Division C.
In the D category that we were able to catch at the end there, good to see a solid ride at 43-11 from the Dirty Drafters. ATP Racing Butane coming on through at 20-31 back, and then it's going to be Herd of Fighting Frasians, 141. Then it's going to be Cranky Joint Bike Club coming through in fourth place, followed up by Herd of Plowing Perchian, BRT Dakota, Cryogen Mauna Loa, ATP Racing Helium, Team Type 1 Beta Cells, STL Newbies coming in for 10th place. That is the situation out here. A lot of celebration going on in the Finesse Wahoo. It looks like, though, they had an amazing ride. That's going to be the ride of the day, I think, between both of those teams. They have been showing their skills out there, Dave, in the last couple of weeks, especially in the team time trial. We've had some major upsets coming in from them. What a well-organized team. I saw it coming, actually, for the last year plus. Whenever I was jumping in with them, and I would race a lot with them in a lot of these evening races. I was a part of the USA Cycling Series with them, racing with them in over the spring and into the summer. I was racing, a lot with them. Johnny Rocket, one of the first guys to start in with the Finesse Wahoo team. He was streaming a ton over on Facebook. I'd see him all the time. Very long time Zwifter. He's a part of all the broadcast. Always a smile on his face. Saw him start to put this together, and it was just obviously going to be some great cohesion with some great personalities behind it, which also always creates an amazing team environment. And now you can see it's really paying off when camaraderie is one of the things. And we talk about it over and over again, but I think Finesse, watch out for them. And this is the cool part of the Zwift Racing League overall, is that I have heard this twice already today, right? In the APAC, now also in the European, now in the Americas. In each one of these zones, we're seeing these top teams. They're coming to the top. And now I think we're going to start seeing those teams go head to head, start seeing their battle to try and get into the Premier Division. So it'll be cool to see as they come out of their zones what they can bring to the table to be the best in the world amongst the community leagues.
Cream keeps rising to the top, as it will do. Cream being cream out there. It was a great day for the community, that is for sure. We're not done. We'll be back, we're probably about an hour from now, even less than that, isn't it? With more racing to come up as the America's West is next on tap. Again, though, Nathan, thanks a lot. The community is amazing, and we've got a couple weeks left in season 1 to continue enjoying the racing. But thanks, everybody. Great job out there.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in just about a little under an hour. Kate Bates will be back here where I'm sitting. Dave Towle will be here. They'll be doing America's West. Don't forget, the Nations race is happening, Nations Challenge this weekend, and one more race to go. We'll see you in just a little bit for that, and get ready for the rest of the week with the TTT WTRL and Nations Challenge.